Hey guys, John Lee Dumas here, founder and host of EO Fire, and you're listening to Bravepreneur Parents Academy with Balaji O.
Welcome to Bravepreneur Parents Academy, where the world's most inspiring entrepreneurs reveal their most defining childhood moments and share their legacy for raising brave little heroes who will grow up to change the world. And now, he still reads comic books under the blanket at bedtime. Please welcome your host, best-selling author, award-winning speaker, and self-confessed geek dad, Balaji O. You know, like the hotel in Vegas? Yeah, no, that's really his name. Balaji O.
Gentlemen, today we have a very special show for you. I got my main man, Jama'l Chukueke. He's from Syracuse, New York, hailing currently in Seattle, Washington. Jama'l's been married 3 years. He's got a beautiful baby daughter, and this man is the host and founder of Diversity Dad. Jama'l is making waves in the podcasting world right now. If you haven't heard this man's name before, you will know this man before we are through. This brother is all kinds of positive, and he takes action, okay? Jama'l is young, but he wants to leave a legacy, and he started walking the talk right now. So let's get into the conversation. Without further ado, I want y'all to give a warm welcome to Jama'l Chukueke. Welcome, man. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, everybody out there. Hope you're doing well. I am, like Balaji said, I'm here in sunny Seattle. and we usually get a knock on the weather that it's not very sunny, but today it is beautiful. So I'm excited to talk to you, and I'm excited about this project and what you're doing, Balaji.
Awesome. Jama'l, it's really a pleasure to link up with you. I want you to give us some insight into, first and foremost, the podcast, Diversity Dad. So what is the Diversity Dad podcast all about?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the Diversity podcast is just it's just for all dads. You know, we all have a diverse situation, you know, whether it's a unique upbringing that you had, maybe it's, you know, financially strapped, or maybe it's growing up in a different country, or maybe you're a dad now and you have a unique situation that you're in as a parent. Maybe you have an adopted son or daughter, or maybe your daughter is a handicap. But again, we are all diverse, and it's just taking the stories of those dads, and hopefully with Diversity Dad, they are, you know, they have other people listening that can help them out. As far as just, hey, you know what? I'm going through the same thing. I had an adopted son, and he was having trouble in school with a new school and learning maybe certain subjects. And what did that dad do, or can I take from that story to help, you know, help my son or daughter? So again, we are all Diversity Dads, and I just want to help everybody, all the dads out there. And we'll kind of talk about this a little bit later, but it was a situation where my mom was at a point in my young life, mom and dad. So it's not all just fathers, but maybe it's someone in a dad-like role. It can be an uncle that is a dad to a nephew, or it can be an older cousin that, you know, is a quote-unquote dad to a younger cousin. So, again, we are all in a certain situation to help people, and we want to create a positive platform for fathers. I know I am a African-American male, and unfortunately, African-American males get a bad rap as far as just fatherhood, and maybe a deadbeat bad dad, or maybe you're a socially economic challenged male and maybe have a bad rap as far as just the area that you live in. And again, we just want to eliminate all that and put those stories out there. If you're in that situation, that's okay. It's not permanent. If with that situation, hopefully they can help others, and that's what we want to do at Diversity Dad.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that vision, and I appreciate the fact that you didn't just feel the drive to do something positive. You actually just put yourself out there, which isn't easy. You put yourself out there, and you started walking the talk, so props to you. Now, Jama'l, you're a fairly young dad. You've been married 3 years. This is your first child, your first daughter?
Right.
9 months old?
9 months.
Beautiful, beautiful. So dads out there who are on their second or third child, you guys know what milestones are ahead of Jama'l. So, he's going to need some prayer. He's going to need some support.
I get it. I guess my question for dads out there, and you guys can, email me or Facebook me at Diversity Dad Facebook page. How do you do the transition between between solids and baby food? We're kind of in that middle ground, and I'm the protective one in the family. How much do we mush it up and give to it? Because chewing kind of like whole foods. But anyways, if you guys have any tips for me about that, send them to me.
All right, guys, jump on in here because this brother needs help.
It's the little things, right? You guys thought I was going to talk about something substantial. That is substantial in my life currently.
We'll get to world peace next week. For now, we got to get Jama'l's baby girl transitioning to solid foods. I love that, though. I love that. And you mentioned earlier some of the stereotypes that are out there about dads, or dads that come from single-parent homes, or dads that are in maybe less than ideal socio-economic situations. But you can't really judge a book by its cover, though. You could be a deadbeat dad and make $1 million, or you could be a wonderful dad and be a stay-at-home father, or be between jobs. So being a good father isn't necessarily determined by what things look like on the outside.
No, that's definitely true. I know myself being, fairly young looking. Don't count my gray hairs, Bellagio. You can probably see them, though. But it's about the perception, right? They see me, and I have a decent job and a great family life, and they may see me as a young 20-year-old, and that's not the case as far as just presenting yourself and really holding yourself accountable to how you present yourself, no matter where you live at or what your background is. It's just if you're a dad, or if you're representing a family, representing your family, represent it right. And I know for a lot of dads out there, there's many great dads out there that are doing that, and then there are dads out there that may not be doing that, but they can always turn the corner and make sure that they are doing that. Just taking care of that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. When I went to a conference recently, Jama'l, it was the National At-Home Dads Conference, and one of the things that struck me was the fact that some of these dads are doing some really good things with their kids that I'm not even coming close to touching. And I had to sort of check myself, because I said, well, look, I'm doing pretty well in some areas, but there are other areas where I can improve. And so running into dads that have different ideas, I can borrow those ideas and improve my own fatherhood. I don't have to feel insecure about the fact that, man, that one dad is killing it right now. He's taking his kid fishing and this, that, and the other, and I've never done that before. So I think we do have the opportunity as dads to give each other more support. We guys maybe tend to be a bit more competitive than women do, and than moms do. Moms, I suspect, support each other a lot more than dads do. We dads like to pretend like we all got it together. But maybe we don't have it that together in every single area, and that's okay.
No, I think, we tend to take kind of the real world situation that we're in currently, whether it's job or competitive athletics or whatever profession that you're in, and trying to tie it to being a father. And I think in some cases you can't do that just because it's just totally different. And you make a good point, Bellagio, as far as just being competitive and wanting to have an edge. And I think with just being a father, it's hard to let our guard down. And, in life in general, you want to put on a good show and make sure that everyone outside sees your best foot forward. But if you fail as a dad, it's okay, and that's why you're creating a great platform. And, I'm attempting to create a great platform too, to ask questions and to kind of take that guard off and be at peace of where you're at, whether you're a veteran, like you, with two great kids, or a rookie like me with a 9-month-old, just having that piece of where you're at as a dad, and that's the question as far as just do you let people in to see that piece, or kind of that moment or those moments where you're unsure of yourself, because it can be scary, right? But,
yes, sir.
Just reaching out and getting better.
I'm going to confess something on here right now, and this is just between you and me, Jama'l. But my wife and I have been married for 12 years, and we learned early on in our relationship that she was really good at some things. I was really good at other things. Sometimes those skills, those natural abilities, aligned with typical, sort of stereotypical roles for husband versus wife. Other times they didn't. I'll give you some examples. When it comes to the finances, my wife is on it, okay? Me, not so much.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example. When it comes to fixing things around the house, bruh, I ain't the one, man. I just tell you straight up, I am not the one. But my wife, we had to change a light bulb. This light bulb has been out for like 2 weeks. And my wife's been like, when are you going to change that light bulb? When are you going to change that light bulb? So yesterday she pulled out a ladder, and in like 30 seconds she had that darn thing changed. And I was like, man. If I was a less secure man than I am right now, that would take my manhood. But, hey, I'm just glad we have some lights on. Right? Now, sometimes you got to get comfortable with what you're good at, stay in your lane, do those things well, and accept the fact that you've brought on a competent partner that compliments you. So I'm glad my wife compliments me in the areas I'm not so good.
No, that is a great point. And that's funny because I was just talking about that actually today, as far as just, like, if my wife wasn't around, I think my daughter would still be wearing like stage 1 diapers. Because I was like, she needs stage 3, or maybe we should get her a high chair instead of the little bumbo thing that she sits in. It was like, I would just keep going with it. Like, hey, it's working.
It's working, right? Exactly. That's pretty funny. Okay, so Jama'l, we're about to put you through the gauntlet here. This is called a lightning round.
All right, I'm ready.
And in the lightning round, Jama'l, we're going to go through back to your childhood, and we're going to get a view of how Superman was created. So you're Super Dad right now. We want to see how Super Dad was built. So are you ready to go through the lightning round, Jama'l?
I am ready. Let's go. All
right, let's do it. Question number 1, favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. That's mine as well. Good answer. Can't go wrong with Peter Parker. All right, favorite cartoon TV show?
Wow, I think all time, mine is He-Man.
Wow, He-Man.
Classic.
I had the action figures. That's a good answer. I like that.
Me too.
I like that. What about video game? Favorite video game growing up?
That is a great question because there's so many games, great games. I would have to say probably Double Dragon.
Double Dragon?
Double Dragon. I love that game. Am I dating myself? These people out there like Double Dragon. Like, what is that? Double Dragon.
Look it up, guys. It's on the interwebs somewhere. Double Dragon. Okay, I like that. Jama'l, do you have a family tradition from your childhood that still sticks with you today? Something you really enjoyed?
Yeah, the family tradition that I have is at Christmas time. Christmas is a great time of year for a lot of people. And this is just a subtle tradition, but we do it every Christmas. As far as just going around, everybody gets their gifts and separate out their gifts, and everybody has their gifts in front of them, whether it's 100 gifts, if you're the kiddos, or if you're my dad or mom, maybe a few gifts or so. But everybody goes around and each person opens up a gift, and we kind of wait and kind of embellish the excitement, or kind of relish the excitement, and just really feel their joy and really be one with their joy of opening that gift. And it's so cool and it's so subtle, but it takes maybe a couple hours for everyone to go around individually open their gift, but it's so awesome. And just to see the smile and the appreciation on everyone's face once they open that one gift. And it can be the largest gift, whatever they want, or the smallest gift, whatever they have, it's their choice, but, kind of going around and opening that gift.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. That's really good. Jama'l, do you recall any embarrassing moments as a child? Do you have something that sticks out with you?
Oh, my gosh. This is, Bellagio, this may be gross, right? So hopefully it's PG.
All right, warning. Get the kids out of the room.
Get the kids out of the room. So Bellagio, I am in second grade.
Yeah.
And this is reading time in second grade.
Okay.
And I have maybe the worst patterned shirt on ever. It's just kind of brown and tan. Brown and red and kind of a goldish color shirt.
You were styling.
And I was styling in second grade. So I was reading, and I never forget. I just felt so sick, and right then and there, I just gave it up.
No.
Yes.
No.
I was so embarrassed. And then my buddy, he was just ragging on me the whole day, like, man, that was so gross. I seen stuff fly everywhere, and you got to.
Wow.
Just so embarrassing. And still to this day, when I see someone, when I hear someone being ill or like, man, I had the stomach bug, I always revert back to that time.
Back to second grade.
Back to second grade.
That is rough. That is rough. So as you kind of grew through the second grade and the elementary school period, maybe toward middle school, can you kind of take us through maybe one big struggle that you went through in those preteen or those teenage years? A lot of us kind of felt awkward trying to get used to our bodies, trying to figure out where we fit socially in those teen years. Did you have anything that, whether it was bullying or negative peer pressure, some kind of moment that you had to kind of grow through?
Yeah, I remember, I was somewhat an okay basketball player, so I tried out for the ninth grade freshman team as an eighth grader, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So, I thought that I made it, and I didn't. I got cut, and the reason why I tried out just so I can get ahead of the game and try to kind of mingle in with the freshmen, the freshman ninth graders as an eighth grader, just because. And again, my parents weren't together at the time. I was home a lot watching my sister. So I only had a few friends. So that crushed me when I didn't make the team because I felt that's an opportunity for me to kind of get ahead of the game to make friends that my eighth graders haven't met, but didn't meet yet. And man, for that hurt me for a while. It's as far as just like, man, I only have a couple buddies, and if I don't really get an opportunity to go out, and that was my opportunity to kind of hang out for a little bit and not have to watch my sister and grow my cool points and be cool. But in the long run, that I'm glad that it worked out the way it did, because spending that time with my sister and watching her grow, and at the time she was really young, but it was just spending that quality time. So it worked out in the end.
What's the age difference between you and your sister?
So my sister and I were 10 years apart.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you were kind of like the babysitter at that point.
Definitely. My mom, she was working a couple jobs, and unfortunately it was us three, and my dad, he lived elsewhere. So at times I had to play mom, dad, brother. So it was tough because, at that age, at that grade, you want your freedom, and you want to kind of go places, and you get older, and you're involved in sports. Well, at least I was involved in sports. So having a young sister tie me down, I wanted to hang out. But again, like I said, it worked out in the end, and I'm glad that I went through that situation, actually, just because it helped me, it helped my sister, and it helped my mom, kind of just help the family.
So your mom really did a lot, shouldering a lot of responsibility. Are there things that your mom did or does as a parent that you found yourself incorporating, or things that you would like to incorporate as your daughter gets older? What are you borrowing from your mom?
I think just her just being aware, and when I say aware, just as far as just, and my daughter is really young, but I think she was really good. My mom was really good at just being aware of our needs, whether it's like I seen something like, hey, this is cool. And she kind of seen the enjoyment in my eyes, and, and if she had the money and she had the time to get it, like she would get it. Obviously my daughter is 9 months old. I haven't really seen that enjoyment and that sparkle in her eye yet, as far as just her wanting things or.
Oh, it's coming.
It's coming. That's not here. But I hope to gain that when my daughter, maybe wants something, and if I have the financial means and the time, and and maybe it's not something monetary. Maybe it's just just spending time, but just kind of, hey, like I have this play or I have something going on, and I really want you to be there. And when I had games, my mom would come to my games, or when I had a school play, granted she's working a couple jobs, she was there, and I'm like, man, like,
wow.
When did she call out? Like, how did she get? Yeah. How is she here? And to premise this, I don't want to make my dad be a bad guy, because my dad's a great father, and I'm glad my parents kind of worked things out through their marriage, and they're still together 25 plus years. But at the time, they were young, and when you're young, you're not there as far as just emotionally and decision making, and to answer your question, that's what I want to get from my mom is have that awareness.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So, Jama'l, what would you say is your number one job? You're 9 months into the job as dad. What do you see as your number one job as Simone's father?
Man, that's a great question. I see my number one job as being an overcomer for her, whether it's maybe struggles on a job or financially. It's just being that overcomer. So once she gets of age and understanding of, hey, there may be situations, and I say, hey, Simone, we've overcome it. Let's see what we can do as a Chukeuke family, right? And let's overcome the situation. So I think that's my number one job for her, is to be that initial overcomer, so she can learn and be an overcomer in her life, whether it's school or when she has her own family someday, if she chooses to, or what have you. Whatever situation is kind of setting that example of overcoming a situation and not giving up and pushing through it.
I really, really love that answer, Jama'l. I've learned over the years that one of the greatest qualities one can have is the ability to persevere through adversity. Growing up, there were certain things that I was good at. I happened to be good at schoolwork, for example, and the problem with it was that I didn't get very good study habits. So in high school, I didn't have to study that hard. I didn't have to study as hard as my classmates did to do well. Well, what did that then create? When I got to college, I came to the U.S. I went to Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. The first semester, Morehouse College kicked my butt 6 ways to Sunday. These dudes around me knew how to study. All these guys, they were all smart, they were all talented, and they had the work ethic. So that was one area in my life where I hadn't learned how to overcome, and it bit me in the butt. So I had to go back and really learn that from scratch, at least in that one area. I try to pass that along to my 2 sons now, because they have talent in certain areas, whether it's music or sports, and I try to let them know if the fact that it comes easily to you doesn't mean you don't have to work hard, because you're eventually going to get yourself into a situation where it's not going to be easy, and talent's not going to be enough. You're going to have to fail and pick yourself back up, and fail and pick yourself back up again. So I really can appreciate your being an overcomer for your daughter.
No, definitely. And, and, hopefully my wife, I shouldn't say hopefully, but I know my wife will want to take on that same trait as well. It's just, as a family, as mom and dad, just going through situations and hopefully, someone will see those situations as far as, man, like, nothing too earth-shattering as far as just like emotionally or physically or anything like that, but, just kind of little bumps in the road and, hey, like, how are we going to figure this one out as a family? Let's do this, and maybe take this route and maybe scale back on this or whatever, and just figuring out and having her observe and learn as well.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Jama'l, I really can appreciate one nuance that you have in there, which is you're seeing yourselves solving problems together as a family. That's something that us guys sometimes don't do that well. We love to be the protectors. We play that role really well, but we don't necessarily share the burden of the problem solving with our wives, talk less of our kids. So I really commend you for that.
I appreciate that. Just like I said, she's 9 months, but just trying to learn now,
So Jama'l, we're gonna, as we wrap up, we're gonna kind of project into the future right now. So this is like a time capsule question. So let's pretend, Jama'l, that it's maybe 30, 35 years from now, and Simone is grown, she's married, she's got kids maybe even. What would you like to say to 35-year-old Simone about this time period in her life, 2015? What would you like to tell her about why you made the decisions you made, why you did the things you did as dad? What kind of message would you like Simone to hear? She's 35 years old right now, and she's going to pull out this recording and listen to her dad talking to her from the past. So what would you like to say to 35-year-old Simone?
Wow. 35-year-old Simone.
Yes. And your wife's going to be mad at me for even suggesting that Simone is growing up that fast, but she's still 9 months old, Mom.
I know. Oh, gosh. I would say that she just filled our hearts up with joy. And, just from the moment that we held her, we lived every day through her, regardless of what task was at work or in the house, or, everything was through her. And we just wanted her happiness to be number one. And, hopefully she wants the same thing as far as just her happiness to be number one with herself or her family. And, it was just, it's so important to us that she's, I don't know, and this is, I'm sorry, I'm struggling with this question, but it's so important for us to make sure that she's happy and that she understands the joy that she brings in other people's lives, from a small child and hopefully as a 35-year-old, and I'm sure she'll have friends and people that love her dearly, and just understand that, she's a joy. She's a joy to be with now, and I'm sure at 35 and with her bubbly personality that she has, that I'm seeing shine through slightly and a little bit, but I'm sure everybody will love her, and hopefully she continues to have that spirit and to have that that attraction to her. When we go out, we're really just blessed that people say, "Oh, you have such a precious little girl," and that means a lot to us to hear that. It's good for me that she doesn't look like me and that she looks like mom first and foremost. But to have those comments from just strangers, it means a lot, and hopefully she keeps that joyfulness of life, and she's always smiling and always. She's trying to laugh. I'm not sure if it's a laugh or a grunt, but she's such a joy, and hopefully she continues to be a joy in the lives of others.
Powerful. I tell you what, folks, for some of us with older kids, maybe sometimes it's not as easy as we'd like it to be, and this is just really good reinforcement that at the end of the day, you know, no matter how difficult at times parenting might be, just that joy that Jama'l talks about, man, that's what it comes down to. Jama'l, thank you for sharing that. That was really special.
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate you asking that question. It's a great question, and again, you know, Bellagio, what you're doing, your movement and your project is so powerful. It's hard to put into words, and hopefully that people can feel your energy. I feel your energy and your positiveness through these. What would you call them? Not airwaves, but kind of fiber optics, right?
Right. Floating in the ether out there somewhere.
That's right, but it's great. I appreciate it.
This is really good stuff, you know. I mean, maybe one day we'll be fortunate enough and our kids will get to meet and hang out. Who knows?
No, absolutely. That'll be wonderful.
That would be wonderful indeed. Well, on that note, we don't want to keep Jama'l away from his beautiful family for too long. So you've been listening to Jama'l Chukeuke. He's from Syracuse, New York, currently in Seattle, Washington. He's the founder and host of the Diversity Dad podcast. It is a wonderful show. Subscribe, review, rate this show. Give Jama'l the support because he's a very positive dad and always looking out to reach other fathers and parents as well. Thank you, Jama'l. This has been the Bravepreneur Parents Academy, Bellagio, and it's been a very fun conversation with Jama'l Chukeuke. Jama'l, how can folks get in touch with you if they want to further the conversation?
Yeah, if your audience wants to get in touch with me, you can go on my Diversity Dad Facebook page. Like the page. That'll be great if you can like it. Or you can reach me on team@diversitydad.com and send me an email and let me know how I'm doing and how I can get better or any questions that you want me to ask the guests. Again, it's not about me. It's about the parents, about the fathers that's out there that want to get better and that are listening to shows like Bellagio and hopefully Diversity Dad to make themselves better for their family.
You guys heard it here first. Jama'l Chukeuke, Diversity Dad. You can reach him at team@diversitydad.com. All right, folks. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow on the Bravepreneur Parents Academy. Until then, it's up, up, and away!
Fear not. Although this chapter of Bravepreneur Parents Academy has come to its conclusion, we have many more adventures for you and your brave little heroes. Head over to bravequest.me for access to the Brave Quest Journal, an interactive activity playbook that rewards your little ones with points for accomplishing tasks that build character and unleash your child's inner superhero all before bedtime. We look forward to having you join us for more adventures next time on Bravepreneur Parents Academy.